Pyramid Code, written by Anonymous. The Pyramid. At the request of Rabbi A.A., I will try to explain and write the essence of the Pyramid Code without revealing the code itself. Everything that I am writing is only from my memory and knowledge that I have acquired in recent years, and some of what I remember from my first incarnation. I am not able to remember everything, and as time goes by, my memory becomes less reliable or fuzzier. My memory betrays me sometimes, and in my current reincarnation, my body does as well, due to my missions. Or maybe it is more accurate to say that I betray my body in spite of my missions and knowledge. I am sure that the knowledge that I possess is not perfect and whole. My memory becomes more sharper and more pronounced as I write. As I went through the Baraka process, which is a long process that takes years, I first learned about current world history. Only after did I begin to learn about the spiritual power as opposed to the physical power, and how the two can be connected. This was a long, tedious, and difficult process to digest. I will begin with a little background on the pharaohs, or pharaohs, who were part of the evolution of the Earth's development in the distant past. Connecting the physical and the spiritual. Earth operates according to natural laws that are set by the Creator. Earth is always moving, evolving, and changing. Change and evolution in the spiritual world is propagated by different waves, frequencies, and vibrations that are consistent to each form in nature. This energy remains in these abstract forms until it permeates matter, which results in the changing of matter or the creation of new matter. This process can be achieved through spiritual words or spiritual powers, via waves, frequencies, and vibrations. In other words, flesh is created differently from an animal to a human being. A brain is created differently than a human heart. Everything has its own frequency, its own physicality, and its own spirit within it that affects its waves and vibrations. As spirit transforms itself into physical matter, the material that culminates, such as the death of a body, reverses its direction and returns back to spirit. It then further transforms to become source, or energy, or power again. This process continues for many years. It is a very slow process that spans millions of years. I am trying to preserve the language and style of Rabbi A.A. in this document, but it is not easy. The original document was written in Hebrew and translated into English. Hebrew is my native language, but my ability to speak and write was always weak. The original divine race. The initial race here on Earth was a very spiritual race. I would say that they were 90% spirit and 10% matter. The spiritual world and its laws ruled the world as opposed to the material world and its laws that we know today. The initial race was a conscious race with appreciation, love, and understanding for the divine plane and the laws of nature. I am talking about a very far away era, way before Atlantis or Adam and Eve. I am talking about a community that was naturally conscious and enlightened, without desires and impulses as we have in our current days. This was a race that was fully aware. This was a race that knew the secrets of nature and understood the secrets of creation. They had knowledge that had no boundaries, one that was characterized with a direct divine connection to the Creator. This was a race that knew how to control and guide nature. This was a race that did not have to work for their livelihood and did not have pain during childbirth. Nature worked for them, and they preserved nature according to the Creator's will. However, for some reason which I do not understand, there was another race that arrived, or was created, to Earth. They were a very different race. They looked like the original race, but they were spiritually void. They were 90% matter and 10% spirit. I suppose that they are the forefathers of Adam and Eve. This new race did not know peace or quiet. Due to interbreeding, the spiritual race was weakened and became physical matter, a process that took eons. The same divine race mated with the female of the other race, and they gave birth to mixed offspring of different sizes and colors. The new race had a very primitive brain with slow development. They were a race void of divine emotion. Along the way, there were a few who were spiritually grand, but no one reached the spiritual level of the initial divine race. The original divine race, the grand spirits, are trying to rebalance the earth up until the present day. On the 10th of Tishri, in the year 1010 according to the Hebrew calendar, or 2750 BC according to the Gregorian calendar, aliens, pharaohs, came down to Earth from 4 different stars or planets that were destroyed for reasons that are unknown to me. The aliens that remained were sent here to assimilate with the native race and slowly rule the world in a positive way. Each group went to a different part of Earth, north, south, east and west. The pharaohs reached what we know today as the African and Egyptian regions. They were all part of the original divine race. For the most part, all the aliens looked like ordinary human beings. The pharaohs had a long rectangular skull, unlike human beings of Earth, who had a rounded skull. The bodies of the pharaohs were thin, noble, and tall. They were dark-skinned, and their facial bones were protruding as they were blessed with noble beauty. The group that reached the west was dark, short, and possessed a large round skull with a large progressive brain. Their bones were thick. They seem to be the ancestors of the original divine race that has been diluted over time. These beings are the ancestors of the present-day South American Hispanics that reside in places such as Mexico and Peru. The goal was to try and transform the corrupt and materialistic race on Earth into a spiritual race that would bring peace and quiet without pressure, fights or wars. A race that would be preoccupied with the spiritual and not the physical. The pharaohs began to turn the earth from a materialistic place to a more spiritual place, and the initial success was overwhelming. However, as time went by, pharaohs and their new generation began to mate with human beings. The superior spiritual race planted itself into the materialistic race, which caused them to lose their spiritual powers and diluted their personal power as well as their future offspring. They tried to elevate the lower vibrational race out of the material and into the spiritual, but over time they failed. Slowly, pharaohs and their offspring became weak, animalistic beings that were full of lust and excess desire. instead of being spiritual beings, suddenly they found themselves with tyrannical, cruel, spiritless, and fearless rulers that instilled fear within the entire nation. A very similar reality to what is happening on Earth today. As we understand it today, the mission failed. However, I know for sure that God does not give up and the work will continue to completion. It is an ongoing process, and we are on our way to the eternal light, which is the age of love. Within another 1 or 2 reincarnations at the most, we will reach this place. In fact, this eternal process is the work, destiny, and goal of entities such as Rabbi AA and Adam. It is the destiny of souls like the pharaohs who have come here to save themselves and planet Earth from physical and spiritual extinction. I believe that the day will come when the Son of God, Father Soul, will manifest in a human body to show all mankind the way out of darkness and into the light, from stress to consciousness. That entity, in my eyes, will be the Messiah. Technology of the pharaohs. The pharaohs began to take control of everything and slowly began to rule the earth. They tried to create a new spiritual world. They needed to preserve, protect, and develop the tools they used for their work and the vehicles they used for transportation for future generations. The pyramids were part of the structures used for just this purpose, which is why we see pyramids in different parts of the world. The pyramids were not built solely as tombs. They were built to protect and preserve the various tools and spaceships that the pharaohs used. The pyramids were built using physical and spiritual tools that could control and manipulate gravity. Such tools were used to lift megalithic stones and build the pyramids. The stones were carved out of different mountains using laser technology. The pharaohs brought new technology into this world that provided them with the ability and power to control human beings. The term EMF stands for electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic fields are part of the earth as well as our bodies. It was and still is a phenomenon that naturally occurs during creation. However, modern-day humans have changed the various frequencies and waves in the earth by despicable, corrupt, and abhorrent technology, which has caused the largest spiritual void that we have ever experienced. The corrupt manipulation of Earth's electromagnetic field is currently causing mental and spiritual sickness and disease. The pharaohs brought with them a different form of technology called electromagnetic pulsation, or EMP, and electromagnetic laser pulsation, EMLP. In the Fatasol language, EMP was called Magan, and EMLP was called Magya. Both of these names translate to shield in English. This technology gave them the ability to build massive pyramids. Underneath these massive structures are very large basements that house the tools and technology used to make them. Originally, there were 666,666 pyramids on Earth. Today, we are left with fewer than 100,000 pyramids of different shapes and sizes. Most of the pyramids built in the world have been destroyed over time, not by man, but by a supreme power. In the years following the Exodus, the age of the pharaohs came to an end, and they, along with their technology, mostly disappeared from the earth. There are still a number of the diluted offspring of the pharaohs that are living among us today. They are recognizable by their body and skull structure, as they are the remnants of the pharaohs and still have some physically distinctive features. Some of their technology devices were stolen by people unknown to me. What I do know is that the world elite have access to this technology, which poses a big threat to the entire universe if it is in the wrong hands. EMP and EMLP are technologies that can destroy a country like the United States in less than an hour without warning. I'm not sure specifically who possesses these devices, and I am also unsure if some governments have this technology. I have a feeling and belief that outside of the world elite, Israel and Russia both possess this technology. I do not think the United States has it just yet. TLS has similar devices that I saw through my work with them over the last 10 years. EMP is capable of neutralizing atomic military systems. EMLP is able to disintegrate entire cities in seconds. This technology can build or destroy anything based on the intention of its operator. To my knowledge, no one has found the hidden basements under the pyramids just yet, but I am sure that they are still there. Some of the machinery and equipment that is stored in those basements includes aircrafts or spaceships. They are huge, energetic tools that need to be recharged by the sun every 1,000 years in order to function. There are no batteries. These machines work primarily through the use of the sun, along with magnets. Even the magical staff that we read about in ancient books works with the same energy. These staffs can change the Earth's gravitational pull with respect to a specific object at any given moment. These staffs even have the ability to provide a person with the power and ability to shapeshift, as long as that person was born with the proper genetics in order to do so. These staffs can also cure various diseases. Some of the tools and machines I'm speaking of are under the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. They were hidden there by Mano and Gama before the destruction of the first holy temple. Although these energies and tools can be very helpful and necessary, they can also be very destructive and threatening if used by satanic and corrupted human beings. The power of the pyramid and the pyramid code depends quite a bit on these tools and the energy they can create. These tools were created by aliens. They were not created naturally by the Creator or God. They have been used for thousands of years, but to my disappointment, they fell into the wrong hands. I hope something will happen soon to remove this threat from our universe forever. I believe that in the not-too-distant future, the right people will rise who will neutralize the power of evil and come to find the treasure that lies beneath the pyramids and the dome of the rock. I believe that the knowledge will be exposed to the people and the world will come to the true fifth dimensional consciousness of the divine self. Whoever does not reach the fifth dimension will simply become extinct from the universe and will not reincarnate anymore. This means that even the spirit or soul will no longer exist in any capacity. Those who shall survive shall thrive, and eventually shall reach higher dimensions, even as high as the 9th or 10th dimensions as a collective communal awareness. In my opinion, these are the days of the Messiah. A new age. In those days, there was widespread use of spaceships. There was a continuous connection between the various stars and the divine self, between the spirit world and the human spirit. The early pharaohs were completely vegan. However, as time went by, they were influenced by humans who corrupted their minds, souls, and bodies through the use of forbidden foods and forbidden actions. Instead of interacting with animals, they started eating them. Even the lions of the royal palace were naturally vegans. Wherever pharaohs landed with their spaceships, they created a superior culture with the leadership of justice and love in order to spread the power of the spirit and the teachings of the spirit. Initially, Pharaoh ruled the nation as both Pharaoh, the king, as well as the spiritual leader of the nation. Over time, as the nation grew stronger, due to their new culture, happiness and wealth, they divided the tasks among the other pharaohal beings. One was the ruler of the nation, Pharaoh, while the other was the nation's spiritual leader, High Priest. Although pharaohs were housed in a physical body, they were granted perfect spiritual freedom, which completely liberated them from time and space. Because of the divine consciousness, they could move freely between stars and galaxies without the influence of time and space. In other words, they were able to experience the past, present, and future simultaneously. This means that if we are released from the limitations of time and space by true and pure spiritual consciousness, we can lead ourselves through our consciousness as our soul desires, whether it is to a physical or spiritual place. This is done through the purification of the body, the mind, the spirit, and the soul. In such a state of consciousness within the fifth dimension, in a state of gamma or higher, we can reach even higher levels of being, just like the original Fata soul of the original divine race and the pure offspring used to do. Their capabilities had no physical or spiritual limitations. For them, there is no such thing as here or there, or we or they. They were able to differentiate between different perspectives of the one and only reality, which is the beingness that everything is eternal, everything is now, everything is here, everything is one, and we are all one. This is the divine consciousness, which is the God and the divine self of us all. This consciousness, even today, will bring us to the highest places. We can move with or without a body. We can leave our body and even levitate with the energy of our body without a magical staff, electricity, or even an external battery. It is all done through our bodies, our thoughts, our brains, our hearts, our souls, and our love for ourselves and others, as well as the one and only eternal Creator, God. Love is power. Our power is incomprehensible. It is power that has given us the ability to build pyramids and spaceships, to heal humanity and the people closest to us. However, today we are imprisoned in a time and space devoid of love, peace, spirit, purity, and freedom. Baraka is a process that can bring just about anyone who wants to invest in themselves to touch the sacred light and become a supernatural being, just as the great Rabbi A.A., Adam, the pharaohs and the high priests were. We can create a spiritual or physical contact between all beings throughout the world, no matter the physical distance, whenever we want, through complete, united and perfect consciousness. I know it sounds delusional, but it is doable. Pharaohs lived in this way and acquired a level of power that is incomprehensible to us today. Baraka must be renewed, and this time it will be accessible to anyone who wants it. Imagine living in a world without time and space, without walls, without borders, without wars, without disease, without vaccines, without toxins, without drugs, and without doctors. A world of love, brotherhood, and harmony. A world of happiness, wealth, eternal abundance, and equality. A world without false religion and a fake book of laws that controls you. A world in which you are the law itself. A world of justice. A world without false rabbis, false priests, or any other corrupt religious leaders. A world without corrupt lawyers and without corrupt judges or politicians. It is doable. It has already happened, and it will happen again. It is better that it happens today rather than tomorrow. We are already on our way to the age of love and the era of endless information and consciousness. We are not far away. In an instant, we will learn the mysticism of water, the mysticism of spirit, the power of the woman, the power of thought, the power of the soul, the power of prayer, the power of forgiveness, and the pyramid code with the codes revealed. This can all happen right here, right now, with full transparency. In our most connected and true form, we are able to identify with every living being mentally, spiritually, and energetically. Imagine talking to animals and loving them instead of eating them. Regardless of our personal ideas and wishes regarding this transition of an era, it will happen. The energy will express itself as it is the manifestation of the energy emanating from the divine source and from the collective divine self. With the help of God, this will all happen in the near future. The power of collective unity will always accompany us and help us in the most difficult times. Once again, I am writing all this information from my memory of my near and distant past. I had special teachers and grand spirits who instilled energy within me that is still incomprehensible to me. I hope that I and those close to me will be blessed with the process of Baraka, which, for the most part, I am not familiar with, due to the fact that I cannot remember what it consists of. I have a longing and a deep yearning for the days in my past, the days with Rabbi A.A., who was my teacher, my father, and my rabbi, along with beings like Adam and Fatahotep, who were able to instill within me wonderful abilities and memories. To this day, they were great and extraordinary spirits and souls. It feels good to share my stories with those close to me. It would feel even better if one day all my information, including my wonderful experiences, energies, and stories, including the book Rays of Light, would be shared by all people with all of the codes revealed. Full transparency. I just hope it is not done with animosity or judgment, but done with happiness, justice, light, peace, and love. I know this day will come. Better today than tomorrow. I hope to have the right guidance and energy to move forward with my colleagues and my loved ones. Love without differentiation, unconditional love, love without judgment, love without fear. The creative power is embodied within us at any given time, in every possible degree and in countless possibilities. This embodiment occurs within us through vibration, movement, and frequency. The stronger and shorter the waves, or embodiments, the more we move away from the concept of materialism without our consciousness. So long as we live in a limited and impure body, with a limited mind and a closed heart, we will not be able to reach the level of consciousness I am writing about, the fifth dimension or higher. I know that today it is difficult for us to understand the guidelines of this consciousness because the waves of thought and waves of ideas within us are limited due to the lifestyle that we live along with the way we were raised and educated. We must take small steps towards a grand goal. The entire universe works and operates through all-pervading frequencies, vibrations, short and long waves, including the divine power and the entire universe's energy. The radiations and energy that I speak of have shaped and continue to shape us as human beings. The very same energies shape the Vata soul that live within our communities, who have been assimilating in our communities for eons and eons. Frequencies, waves, vibrations, positive radiation, and various energies are tools in our possession to move within the physical and spiritual universe. They also offer us indications that something is out of balance. They show us when the vibrational signals in our body go astray. They also give us the power to move and guide the world according to our desire. Of course, this is a process that takes ages according to our limited understanding, but it is doable, and the time is coming. The day will come when my memories prove to be true and real. The day will come when humans will discover and control everything, even the most majestic knowledge. The day will come when perfect consciousness will propel us towards the eternal light. We are close. We are already in the journey towards the age of love, a world of truth. I feel like I've drifted a bit and went into subjects we may find difficult to understand. However, I feel that historical, internal, and spiritual knowledge is essential in order to understand the essence of the pyramid code and its eternal code for eons to come. Mysticism of the pyramid. The pyramids and all their secrets, including the many instruments and basic tools, work, move and operate based on the gravitational pull of the star or planet in which they are located. The self-consciousness of the Earth, which is in fact our self-consciousness, is the force or energy that attracts all materials in the Earth to the Earth. It does so with the desire for union through gravity, which is part of the divine power. This also symbolizes and expresses the love between creation and nature. We must always work with gravity and not against it. It doesn't matter if you are building a pyramid or a temple. If we work against gravity, everything will fall apart. It is important to understand that the pyramid and its construction in the form of a pyramid is the best and most appropriate structure for preservation over long periods of time. The pyramid structure also holds the most resistance to natural damage. The pyramids were constructed by and according to the laws of nature and in accordance with the various mathematical, physical, astronomical and astrological laws. In the pharaonic era, astronomy and astrology were considered as one science or knowledge and was called Ast in the Pharaoh language. Every minor or high priest had to be proficient in Ast sciences. The pyramid is to be used for a number of purposes: protection, an eternal clock, an eternal calendar, and a tomb for the pharaoh. The pyramids were used as tombs for the purpose of using the divine bodies of the pharaoh beings as an energetic defense for the pyramid, its entrances, and the instruments that exist within it. Pharaoh and the high priest had an energy within their bodies that is also present after they die, which acts as a protection for the doors and gates of the pyramid. They were intended to be the gatekeepers through the use of their internal energy to preserving their bodies after they died. Normal human beings do not understand this energy because they cannot measure it. However, the supreme goal of the pyramid was protection. Every pyramid was carefully designed and built. Its location, angle, size of each rock, and type of rock all had a specific reason. For example, the angles of the walls relative to their bases was built at 51 degrees for various reasons, one of which was to have the sun's rays reflected to great distances. The pyramid also served as a lighthouse for both humans and spaceships in the day and at night. Laser beams projected from the apex of the pyramid towards the sky, also at a specific angle, to specific stars in order to be in constant communication with different motherships and different stars or planets that may, over the years, become a new home, just as the Earth became a new home for the pharaoh beings in the year 1010, according to the Hebrew calendar, 2750 BC, according to the Gregorian calendar. Originally, all the pyramids were facing different directions according to the stars that they communicated with. However, for reasons unknown to me, most of the pyramids on Earth and every pyramid on any other planet or star, probably in the millions, were completely destroyed after the Exodus. As I stated earlier, there are fewer than 100,000 pyramids left on Earth. All of them are facing north, or the North Star. There is one star or planet in the physical shape of a pyramid that rotates counterclockwise and moves constantly in the heavens for probably eternity. I know today that the pyramid or star is the home for Adam and Rabbi AA, which is most probably the last destiny or destination. The entire history of the aliens is carved on the walls within the secret rooms, secret tunnels, and secret cellars of the pyramids. Transcribed on these walls is the history of the pyramid code as well as the eternal code itself. This infinite knowledge will become common knowledge one day, and human beings will be able to read it, understand it, and use it to decipher the past, present, and the future that all exists in the present moment. Since God is everywhere and in everything alive, humans and animals, plant life, inanimate and spiritual, we must first understand that a pyramid or any other structure is part of God. That is, part of the collective spirit. This means that physical structures are also controlled by the laws of the spirit, the mysticism of the spirit. The third dimensional world is based on the laws of the spirit, which we cannot exist without. This means that pyramid is as much of the eternal divine being as anything else in the universe. In order to understand these laws, we must first understand God, which is not an easy task. God lives in everything, and everything lives in God. God, in His perfection, can only be understood by those who can or have become God themselves in the 10th dimension. To summarize this insight, only God can understand God. Since we, as human beings, have been cut off from our divine self-consciousness long ago, modern-day man can only describe and understand the concept of God according to their mental capabilities and inner limitations. How can the finite, human, understand the infinite, God? I'm trying very hard to simplify these things before you, and I hope I succeed. It's very difficult to get to the small, hidden details without revealing the code. A reaction is first manifested through a thought, and one cannot experience their own beingness without the act itself. A thought alone does not put one in a true state of being. A thought only comes into being by the act, and the act becomes a reality only if there is at least one witness. This means that reality is only able to exist if there is an awareness or consciousness to perceive it. A correctly built pyramid with equilateral triangles on each external wall transmits necessary energy for the universe. The apex of the pyramid signifies God, eternal power, and unity. Each vertex at the base of the pyramid also signifies something specific. There are 4 vertices in the base of each pyramid that represent the living, human and animals, the plant life, the inanimate, and the spiritual, respectively. All 4 of the vertices are connected in a straight line to the apex of the pyramid through the 4 sides of the pyramid. Pharaohs created the laser energy, EMLP, through the connection to the apex of the divine connection according to their vision and understanding. As I mentioned before, the galactic communication to the eternal light was continuous. I believe that even today there is a connection, but perhaps using a different energetic connection without laser technology. perhaps through the bodies of the ancient pharaohs who store the energy in their bodies up until today. Spiritual laws and physical laws hold the foundations for building the pyramids. Spirit is life, and physical matter is its resistance. Spirit is radiation, and the physical matter is contractive. Through the construction of the pyramid, man is the link that connected the spirit world and the physical world. Without the resistance of the physical, creation as a whole would not be possible. The pyramids, their secret tunnels, secret rooms, and the huge basements on which they sit on were themselves the motherships. Every pyramid can levitate by shrinking its base, fly to wherever it desires, and return back to its place as if nothing happened. This is material resistance. All of this is in the hands of the aliens, the Pharaohs, in whom lies the power of the mind, the power of thought, the secret of creation, and the complete understanding of the material world. Only with the proper combination and harmony between the laws of nature, such as the laws of physics and the laws of the spirit, is it possible to reach this level of power. The Hebrews were the builders of the pyramids, but the pharaohs were the architects. Nothing was done out of force or by suffering. It was considered a privilege to the Hebrews to be part of this event in history. The Pyramid Code was not a secret at this point in time. As time passed, it turned to become a secret since the pharaoh rulers abused the power given to them and were no longer to be trusted. Structure of the pyramid. The pyramid consists of 4 equilateral triangular surfaces. Each triangle has 3 equal sides and 3 vertices. The inner surface within each of the triangles is known as the divine surface. God resides within each of the triangles or the divine surfaces and is an integral part of the pyramid. The 4 equilateral surfaces on the pyramid allow us to understand that each pyramid has 4 visible divine surfaces projecting from the exterior of the pyramid into the universe, as well as 4 internal divine surfaces radiating into the pyramid. The base of the pyramid is the basic divine surface that consists of a square with 4 vertices. The square radiates its energy through its surface, both internal and external, as well as its 4 vertices to the apex at the top of the pyramid. Each vertex at the base of the pyramid faces a different direction: north, south, east and west. Each wall or divine surface of the pyramid also faces a different direction: north, south, east and west. Each vertex at the base of the pyramid provides energy for the living, human and animals, the plant life, the inanimate, and the spirit. All of these vertices, as one, radiate and absorb divine energy from the apex at the top of the pyramid. The apex is always connected by laser or solar radiation to the original divine energy or source. On all of the divine surfaces and all of the vertices, energy radiates and absorbs divine energy simultaneously. The pyramid both projects and receives energy. The pyramid transmits through its divine surfaces the divine energy that radiates outward, but also inward through its internal divine surfaces. The divine surface at the base of the pyramid radiates energy into the pyramid, upward to the apex, towards the spirit, and downward into the earth, towards the physical. When the pyramid rises and flies as it did in the ancient days, one light could be seen coming out of the apex and fall from the vertices on the base towards the north, south, east and west. There were 12 lights at the bottom of the base divine surface in the shape of a circle that could only be seen when flying. These lights symbolized the zodiac. Additionally, there was one light in the middle of the circle that represented the divine light. Even today, there are spaceships that exist in the shape of pyramids exactly how I have described them here. Spaceships exist in many shapes and styles, such as pyramids, cylinders, saucers, flying triangles, and many other different shapes. There are motherships that look like massive industrialized cities that just hover in space, waiting for incoming and outgoing flights. The size of each is unimaginable. Motherships usually hover in space without motion. They rarely move, hover, and fly to different geographical locations. Every pyramid stores worldly power and divine energy eternally due to the way the pyramid was constructed by the pharaohs. Every pyramid was built in different sizes, but every wall is always at a 51-degree angle, with a precise angle relative to the sun. Each pyramid is also connected to the 12-star system in our zodiac. As I said earlier, every pyramid today is facing north towards the North Star. The original pyramids were built by divine energetic powers, but have been preserved through the years by the alien energy, pharaohs, through EMP and EMLP. The pyramid personifies the reality of the divine energy embodying itself in the material world. The divine energy resides in every one of its creations as well as the creations of other beings, aliens, pharaohs, or simply human beings. The four walls of the pyramid personify, signify, and symbolize the divine revelation multiplied by 4. Heavenly winds and the Garden of Eden. God radiates his influence in 4 different ways through the 4 heavenly winds. The source of these energies, the 4 heavenly winds, comes from the Garden of Eden, which is a paradise according to our understanding today. The Garden of Eden is located in Iraq, not far from Baghdad. It is a place that is exposed to the spirituality of the soul. However, it is hidden from the naked eye. The 4 characteristics of the flow of these winds, the heavenly winds, exists in everything that is created on earth. Every wind has a feature as well as an influence. Western wind brings rain, humidity and warmth. Eastern wind brings coolness and refreshment. Northern wind brings cold and dryness. Southern wind brings heat. It's incredible that all 4 heavenly winds come from the same geographical location and the same energetic source, yet each wind holds within it a different characteristic. How could it be that warm air comes from the south and cold air comes from the north, yet they are both coming from the same source simultaneously? This is one of those secrets of creation. Hidden mysticism. Today, The mysticism is hidden, but the day will come when the mysticism will be revealed and transparent. It will no longer be hidden. The pyramid basically embodies everything that was, is, and will be. The pyramid is the connection created by man between physical and spiritual. Other than the stone which is visible to the eye, a pyramid is composed of the following basic components. 18 laser lights symbolizing life, which is represented by the number 18 in Hebrew, and the divine energy. In gematria, which is an alphanumeric code of assigning a numerical value to a word based on its letters, the word life, translated from Hebrew, is equal to the numerical value of 18. 10 internal and external surfaces symbolizing divine physical and spiritual giving. The word 10 in Hebrew means to give and also represents wealth between the creation and the creator. The numerical value of 10 always represents 1, which symbolizes oneness. 8 lines connecting the vertices through which energy flows infinitely between the base and the vertex. The number 8 symbolizes infinity. 5 vertices, including the apex at the top of the pyramid, which represents the divine connection that is connected to one's own being. The numerical value of 5 represents the letter He in Hebrew, which symbolizes the divine God. 4 vertices at the spiritual base, 4 heavenly winds, that always point towards north, south, east and west. The zodiac is an integral part of the earth and the pyramids. Without the energetic radiance of the zodiac signs or constellations, the earth and the pyramids would never survive. The constellations of the zodiac surround Earth and are fixed in space. The zodiac constantly emits 12 different energies from its 12 different fixed constellations in the direction of Earth. Within the confines of each of the 12 constellations of the zodiac exist 12 stars that are not visible to those who are not currently at the awareness of the upper levels of the 5th dimension or higher. The 12 stars within the confines of each constellation each spin on their own axis. Additionally, the 12 stars within the confines of each constellation all revolve around the center of each constellation as a unit. This means that there are 144 stars within the confines of the constellations in the zodiac that are not visible to the eye. These stars will only become visible to us when we reach the upper limits of the 5th dimension or higher. Earth's origin of creation is a direct result of the 12 different energies radiating from 12 different constellations of the zodiac in a circular, counterclockwise, motion around the Earth. This resulted in the formation of the physical world. Earth grew into what we know it to be today via an intimate connection with the sun and the solar energy emanating from the zodiac. This eventually turned Earth into a satellite of the sun, and today the Earth is an integral part of the sun and the stars. The Earth is a physical creation that was created through the use of the energies of the stars or planets and the sun. The zodiac is made up of 12 constellations. Each constellation is symbolized by an animal, inanimate object, or soul. Each of these symbolize the spirit based on 4 fundamental points, which are the 4 divine areas of the heavens in a divine being. These 4 fundamental points are: 1. Lion, symbolizing the divine surface and fire. 2. Eagle, or scorpion according to today's astrologers, symbolizing the divine surface and wind. 3. Bull, symbolizing the divine surface, earth. And 4. Aquarius, symbolizing the divine surface, water. As I stated earlier, each divine surface is a triangle with 3 vertices. Being that each pyramid has 4 walls, or divine surfaces, when the number of vertices of each divine surface, 3, is multiplied by the number of walls on pyramid structure, 4, we get the number 12. This represents the 12 different constellations within the zodiac. Every constellation in the zodiac has its own uniqueness. For example, Aries represents libido and the force of the spring season. Virgo represents the mother of nature. There are many more examples, but I will not get into astrology right now. I am sure all of this may be quite difficult to understand, especially since I cannot reveal the code that would explain and clarify the connection between the physical and spiritual, between the pyramid and the zodiac, between the creations and the creator. The pyramid. I will do my best to sum up the essence of the pyramid code in a nutshell. Every pyramid in the universe signifies divine perfection, divine spirituality, divine physicality, and eternal light. Every pyramid moves, behaves, transmits, and absorbs spiritual and physical energy through the use of basic principles at the source of the pyramid being. The pyramid is a being, as I have already established. The physical beingness of the pyramid is the power of electricity. The spiritual beingness of the pyramid is the power of thought. The electricity that I am speaking of is not the same electricity that we know of today. It is an electric force that exists in the hands of very few people. This force is not known to the scientists and ordinary people of today. Electricity has spiritual foundations, but it is the material being of the pyramid. Electricity is not seen by the naked eye, and it has no taste, smell, or color. Electricity is not alive or inanimate. However, it can be measured by humans through certain devices that can determine its level of power. Electricity can kill or revive and build or destroy, all at the will of the operator. Electricity is the vital energy that is necessary for the survival of the universe in all its frequencies and vibrations. Natural electricity, as opposed to artificial electricity, or man-made, can provide us with infinite energy and comfort in the modern world that we live in. I am referring to universal, free and natural electricity that does not pollute the earth, the human body, or the soul. Modern-day artificial technology works at a frequency of 50 Hz to 60 Hz, depending on the country in which the electricity is produced. The average Western country uses 400 terawatt-hour of electricity. There is a great deal of this artificial electricity that surrounds us at any given moment. This artificial poison is now essential for the survival of the population today. With such a poisonous creation, it is not surprising that the global frequency has gone astray, along with the frequency of the people living in it. Along with its advancement and comfort, it has also brought various physical and spiritual illnesses that significantly affect the power of thought and the soul. This has caused modern man to go crazy. It has taken us out of consciousness. Everything in the universe moves by electricity or energy, and electricity is an integral part of the entire universe. It is also essential to the various beings who dwell in it and move within it through the use of vibration, frequency, and the power of thought. Electricity is part of our bodies. Every part of the body operates at different frequencies, such as the heart, kidney, lung, or brain. Although different parts of the body operate at different frequencies, the general frequency of the entire body as a whole is 7.83 Hertz. It's interesting that the Earth also works on a general frequency of 7.83 Hertz, which symbolizes life. 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 18, which symbolizes life in Hebrew through the connection of its letters in the Hebrew alphabet. I highly doubt this to be a coincidence. Our bodies are electrical systems, and our neural system acts as the wires that conduct electricity. This electricity vibrates throughout the body with the help of the water, which is about 70% of the body. It is important to note that the Earth is comprised of 70% water, just like the human body. I highly doubt this to be a coincidence as well. Water vibrates at the frequency of 100 terahertz, which symbolizes the 1. 1 plus 0 plus 0 equals 1, which symbolizes oneness that rules everything and anything. The sun operates at the frequency of 5.9642 gigahertz. 5 plus 9 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 equals 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8. 26, which is the numerical value in gematria for the word Yehovah, which means God in Hebrew, symbolizes the divine power or God, which is infinite. 8 symbolizes infinity. Just look at the symbol used for the number 8 itself. All of these numbers are according to the conversion from the Hebrew alphabet, which was also used by the pharaohs. I truly believe that the conversion of all these numbers is not a coincidence. The entire universe and everything within the universe receives its life force and beingness from natural electricity, which is incomprehensible to us. Scientists have yet to find the source that powers the heart, brain, earth, or sun, which keep us so vital. The fundamental energy of naturally occurring electricity is the same fundamental energy that is intrinsic to thought, every living being, and the building and operation of the pyramid. By becoming in tune with the constitutional energy behind naturally occurring electricity, we can unlock the secrets behind creation and all that is sacred. Thought precedes everything in the universe. Thought is an integral part of creation, the spiritual and physical creation. Thought is the power that connects the entire universe, including the connection between aliens, humans, animals, plants, Pharaohs, and God Himself. By the way, we humans are the lowest level of consciousness before plants. Even animals have surpassed us. Humans today are at an extremely low level, far from the fifth dimension. Clean and pure thoughts bring us to eternal consciousness needed to activate not just the pyramids, but the entire universe. The pyramid code is part of the secret of the universe, a secret that we will only reach with the right consciousness. Ever since the time of the pharaohs, human beings were known as the people who contaminated the Fatasol race. Every pyramid receives, provides, absorbs, transmits, and stores EMP and EMLP. Every pyramid moves through the use of magnets in its base, the energy of the sun, and the power of thought of its operators. Every pyramid, regardless of its size or location, can fly to any distance, regardless of space or time. Every pyramid is built of stone or rock that symbolizes the divine surface, the earth. Every pyramid is built and set at a specific angle, 51 degrees, towards the zodiac, the sun, and the North Star. Every pyramid contains 18 laser lights that symbolize divine energy and the divine light, with one always at the apex and the rest at the base. Every pyramid and its divine surfaces are facing and are connected to the heavenly winds and the directions of north, south, east, and west. Every pyramid is an independent spaceship, and some have also served as motherships. Every pyramid has a massive basement underneath it containing tools, instruments, machines, and spaceships. Every pyramid has hidden rooms and tunnels within it, especially underneath it. Every pyramid contains its history and documentation, using the Hebrew alphabet on its inner walls in the secret rooms that was engraved using laser technology. The engravings reveal the purpose of the pyramids, the pyramid code, and the code that activates it. Every pyramid can also shrink by moving the stones and rocks at its base into the pyramid itself. Every pyramid is independent without relying on one another. However, all are connected to the eternal light. Pyramids also exist as structures on other planets in the universe, and they operate with the same foundation like the ones on Earth, only with different levels of gravity, which varies from planet to planet. Only on planet Earth did the pyramids turn into a tourist destination that is desolate and boring. Every pyramid can manipulate natural forces, such as gravity, in any way its operator desires. The pyramid star. Every star in the universe is a circle, except for one star, which is known as the pyramid star. Like all other stars, it has been moving for eons in direct connection with the zodiac and its constellations. However, it is in the shape of a pyramid. The pyramid star contains life, but not according to our limited understanding. Only worthy souls who meet the highest demands of the supreme power make it to the pyramid star. The pyramid star and every pyramid on Earth was made, created, and operated through the removal of time and space, as well as combining the power of thought together with the physical technologies of EMP and EMLP. The power of thought. The only thing in the entire universe that is faster than the speed of light and the speed of sound is thought. Aliens and human beings that operate spaceships or pyramids activate their crafts through thought combined with the energy of the body. For example, the operator of a spaceship uses his hands to project the internal spiritual energy in order to propel a physical machine through the use of his thought. The main factor in the incomprehensible speed of spaceships today and in more ancient times is thought. It is important to note that the faster soul in ancient times thought on a much higher vibration and therefore, and still are, capable of performing physical acts that appear supernatural to us according to our limited understanding and awareness.